Hey campers, George here, back in the man cave. Remember a couple of weeks ago I was whining a little bit about storage space and how to store my knives. I didn't like what I was doing. I had little plastic cases and I put them in there, kind of rattled around. So I thought, let me have a look, see what I can get, something I can afford. I found something and I think I showed it to you. Now I've tried it out. Let's check it out. So what I'm talking about is this guy. You can see it there. And it is known as a display case, carry case, bag for knives, folding knives, a lot of them. 66 they say, plus. I was on Amazon and I found it there and all the prices for these things are pretty much even. The reason I chose this one was the price was middle of the road, about the same amount of knives as everybody else. I like the idea of 66 plus knives. When I tried it out, which I'm going to show you, it actually works fine. And I kind of like it. But I have other issues that I now have to deal with. Let me show you. Here it is here. Okay. Pretty solid. I can shake it around. I have knives in there. And it's heavy. What I did was I took my favorite makers, Camillus, all the knives that I've restored or gathered, and started to put them in here. It's actually the knife maker that I probably had the most of. Imperial's pretty close. The size of this box, 16 by 9 by 3.5 inches. So you got 16 inches here, 9 deep, 3.5 thickness, okay. It has a zipper that goes all the way around so you can open it up. And it has a pretty sturdy handle on it that you can strap it together so you can carry it easier. And you got your zippers, right? You got your sturdy handle here. You see that. And you know, it's that one where you can Velcro together so you're carrying both handles. A little bit more comfortable. And then they call this 360 degree zippers, which I suppose you're right, because they go all the way around, allegedly. When you open it up, you can see here. Now you've got all these, all these knives. One popped out here. It's so shiny and smooth that it just slipped. Yeah, whatever. Anywho, here it is here. And you can see it's got these elastic bands, okay? It's got dividers so that the knives don't touch. And you've got, you know, one place there, one here, one there, spacer, and one here. So you can hold a lot of knives. Now, if you look carefully here, let me get closer for you. Can you see what I did? I landed up using 2 straps per knife. You can do that, but look. No, doesn't work that way for me. So I decided to use 2 straps per knife. This is my Camillus collection. You can see them here. And I'm going to go through them really quickly with you, but I wanted to show you this case first. So you can see the problem I had. Even this knife here, being halfway there, is close to there. And I suspect that the design was for smaller knives, or this section is for bigger knives. Now, if I open up the protector flap here, now you can see these are wider. Okay, so your bigger knives can fit with just one strap. The little knives, the one strap. And I got some big ones here. This is still my Camillus collection. Okay. Kind of odd. You open this one up. So less knives actually fit in here. And you got this section. This is my imperial knives that I have. And we're back to the same thing that we had before. And we've got the dividers. Now, this looks wider for the little ones. And you can see one, and they fit. These are smaller knives. Here's the bigger knives of my imperial. Okay. You know, the fishermen are pretty long folding knives. So I had to use two. So that's one of the issues I had. You know, it's going to be really hard to find one that meets all your needs. I'll tell you that right now. Because it depends on the size of the knives that you're wanting to store in there. And I'm going by manufacturer right now. And I'm seeing where the issue is. Now, 66 plus knives, 1, 2, 3, 4 by 3. There's 12 in one thing here. 1, 2, 3, 4 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I got 10 here and 4 there. That's 14. I don't think I can put 66 in here unless I go really small knives. Well, I thought I had small knives. Maybe not. Obviously, the fishermen, the campers, this type of thing is pretty big. So if you're looking for stuff like this, that's what you're going to come across. And as hard as you look, there's no way you're going to know what size knives you're going to be putting in there, which was my issue. However, I will say this, it's well made. I like it. And I think I'm going to stick with them because I don't have 1,000 knives. I have 908. No, I don't know how many I have. Probably 200 to 300, maybe. And they're not all for this. The ones I've restored are my favorites, old school knives. They're typically knives that are not modern knives. They dated a little bit further back. I'm not worried about that. I can make them fit, and if I have to buy another bag, I can afford it. It's not going to break my bank. The other thing is, I have no storage space, and I've got a whole cupboard sitting here with big plastic boxes that have knives in them, all mixed up, all willy-nilly. I need to organize it. And I'm thinking if I'm consistent in my storage box, I can put more knives in there and organize them. You can label these with what they're in. I don't want to write on here, but I'm thinking I can have a stick-on label that I can just put on there, a temporary label until it's full with what I want it to be full of, and then label it. Right now, I just pulled out my Camillus and my Imperial ones, and they fit in here. And those are the two biggest makers that I have. Always adding to them, but not a big deal. Let's have a look at my Camillus collection. I'll just go through real quick with you. So looking at this right now, you can see right away I went with like what I call campers, multi-blade ones with the bigger knives. Electrician's knives, a camper, scout knives. And this is a Barlow electrician's knife. And these were just knives that had bad handles and needed to be restored. So let me try and get a little bit more organized with you, and I'll just pull them out and show you them quickly. So here you can see them. And this is probably my favorite knife. You can see it here. It's basically a camper scout type. Love the handles. And you can see the tang stamp there. Very nice. Just a camper, old school style. Got me with the can opener, the old school style can opener. And you got a nice blade. It was really in good condition. I love this knife. And, you know, I cleaned it up. It was a little dirty and whatever. Cleaned everything up and put them in. And put it all back together. Made it a little bit sharp and shiny. Beautiful knife. Love it. The the tank stamp and that you can date from. You all guys, you all know how to do that, so I'm not going to bother you with that. But beautiful knife. Okay, I'm not going to go through everyone because there's duplicate styles, and that'll just, I won't keep you here all day. Here we go with an electrician's knife, probably my favorite one. The reason being is the handle. A little bit different to the other ones. It wasn't wood, and it's in really good condition. I cleaned it up. I did clean it up and everything, and you can see it has the main blade and the tool. Very typical electrician with a bail. I love an electrician. I love fishermen. I love campers. Okay, I like all sharp and shiny. Here's another one, wood handle. This one here. It's interesting. Tell the difference is look how low the bail is placed on this one. It's actually not on the pin like the other ones are. So that changed the way you look at it and decide how old it is. This one was actually made by Camillus for wards, Montgomery wards. Nice wood handle. Here's one with a black handle on it, and you can see the bail here is the same as that one. That one's in there. I got two Scouts here. This one is a cub, and you can see it here. It's actually an official Cub Scout. Very typical, your everyday things on it. It is a cub though, not a Scout. Very nice knife, really good condition, cleaned it up a little bit. Cool thing I thought about it was you have two locks on it, so you can lock things, and one of the things you can lock is the blade. You know, a lot of Scouts don't have that. It's just a slip joint. Very cool, nice color and everything. So that was a Cub Scout, and here is a really nice Scout. Look at that. Beautiful knife. Love this. But, like I said, slip joints. So the Cubs, they put a safety on it. They're assuming that a full Scout understands safety, allegedly. And you can see the badge and everything. Very cool. Here's a tip-top baller from Camillus. You can see I've oiled them. This is actually a 4-line, which is very cool. Really like the handle on this one as well. I like this type of handle. It's kind of like a resin wood look to it, and it has tip-top on it. And it's a 2-blade with a pen. So here we have another electrician, and if you look carefully, look where the bail is on this guy. It's lower down, same as that one. And the handle is pretty similar to that. These knives here are the ones where I replaced handles. Here is just a little 2-blade jack. I was sent some ironwood from a subscriber, and these ones had that black handle that looks like jig bone, that material that used to shrink. There was a lot of bad stuff about it, but they had shrunk on these ones, on all these handles actually. So I made a series out of them of the ironwood. Very cool. Cleaned them up, sharpened them. The usual story. Here's a camper. You can see that I put the ironwood on. Same problem with the handles. They had shrunk or cracked. So I took them off and just replaced them with the ironwood. Very nice stuff. Very, very cool. Let me get them in here. Here's another Barlow. This one came with the actual same subscriber sent me this wood, and this is that impregnated wood. You can see it's colored. Okay, it's got different colors, and he sent me some with different colors in them. And you can see this one says New Holland on it and USA. When I figured out who made it, it was a Camillus, so I hope, I believe. Same thing again, just use that impregnated wood, cleaned it up, and in you go. Here we have some more. Not too many left. These ones were a gift from Keith, and they are the ones with the bullet on it. Very cool. Look at this camper. It's a beauty. These came, and I was going to tell you about this issue that I now have. You can see here. Beautiful collection. I've done nothing except basically polish them. Excellent condition. They were still in the box, and it's that series with the bullet on. You can see them. Very cool. Here are ones that I've collected. This is the one with the sword on it. Very cool. Love the handle. Two similar ones here. Here's a fisherman. Just a single blade fisherman. Very cool. Had to trace it back to Camillus, but it has that hook remover on here, and then the single blade. Here is a huge I want to say sheep's foot coping. I believe this was basically what the military wanted from Camillus during the war, things like that. Here's another one, huge hawkbill. You can see it there. Very cool. It's got the one on the back. Very nice. And it locks. Always a good thing. This is a different one for me. I've never seen this style from Camillus, but there it is there. And it's basically a small sheep's foot with this divot out where you have it going in there like that. And I thought at first it's the nail neck, but it allows you to grab more of the blade and pull it out without using the nail neck. I suppose when you're wearing gloves or something, it makes it easier. Had a little bail on it as well. Very cool little knife. So that's my Camillus collection. A really quick look at it. When I first started getting into knives, I was a fixed blade guy, camping, hunting, that sort of thing, fishing. Then I discovered pocket knives and old pocket knives and restoring them. I love doing that. The problem I have now is I thought I can go further and started making sheaths for them. Let me get one for you and show you what I'm talking about. These are the boxes where I had the knives in before. But as you can see, on a lot of the knives I restored, I made sheaths for them. So here's the problem. I still have these boxes because they don't fit in this thing. It just won't work. I've got sheets thick. So now I have the problem of I have to separate them. Is it a big deal? Not really. I don't have as many sheets as I have knives, so I'll have less of these boxes. And I think what I'll do is I'll just label the boxes so that I know the sheets in this box are for Camillus or Imperial or Cutmaster or Colonial, whatever. So I'm still stuck with these boxes. But this is going to help a lot because they fit in my cupboard and I can stack them, on the shelves, and I'm going to be able to store a lot cleaner and easier. Right now, my knives are just a mess. That's what I'm talking about. And I just want to share with you. I know a lot of you said to let you know how this works out. Now, I know that some of you said they have some of these, and if I want them, I can have them. I'd like to keep it consistent, so I'm just going to stick with these. When I've saved enough pennies, I'll buy another one and add to it. Obviously, the more knives you get, eventually one box is going to be just one maker. So that's the plan. So there you go. 15 minutes you're never going to get back, but I thought I'd share that with you. I know there were a lot of comments on it when we talked about this, when I showed you that I got it and the storage problems I have. The man cave is tiny. I have 3 cupboards, and they have camping stuff in and like office stuff where I keep all my supplies for office, whatever I'm doing. I have my workbench, and that's it. The rest of this area is the wet room for the cottage. It's the laundry room, basically. And that's another problem because it gets humid. You get a lot of moisture in here. So storing knives is another issue. I think I like this better. I think it seals better. And I'm collecting moisture things. Hopefully, 90% of the blades in here are carbon. So you're going to get rusty. And I don't want mold or anything happening, so I've got to keep it dry. Figuring if I put them in the cupboard and have all those moisture bags, I'll be okay. And if you're wondering how much I paid for that case, that much. It's a little pricey, but you can store a lot of knives in it. And like I said, I looked at a lot of different ones. This one turned out to be the better one for me. You're going to have to find out for yourself. Sorry, I can't help you. There's no way to tell what's going to fit in there. They can say 100 knives will fit in here. Well, are they talking knives this big or this big? You have to think about that when you're going to choose to go this way. I know you can buy those stand-up cabinets, people using them for tools, artists, that sort of thing. They're padded and everything. I don't have anywhere to put one. And let me tell you, they're pricey. For a decent one, I don't want to get a basic, not very good one because it's going to fall apart. I want something sturdy, and it needs to look nice and look sturdy and look the part. And as soon as I did that, the price tripled. So there you go. You all be safe out there. Even when you're looking at your little collection like I do, I'll be sitting around in the evening having dinner and thinking, and pull out the boxes and go through my knives and fondle them and stare at them and ooh and ah. Be careful when you're doing that because you get involved in it, and before you know, slip joints. Most of them are. Just saying. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. You know the story. Pretty sure I'll be back. Like I told you before, I came back from a camping trip with the usual suspects, had a good time. That video's coming up soon. I'm working on a fixed blade. You probably will see that as well. I made a fixed blade knife and sheath from a blank and a handle that Kevin, the knife doctor, sent. Make a sheath for it. Haven't done that in a long time, and I struggled, just so that you know. Thanks for watching. Always appreciated. We'll see you again soon.